Big news, Formula One is hitting the streets of Madrid in 2026. Pretty exciting, right? But not everyone is cheering. Some people worry that our favorite old-school F1 tracks might get left behind for these new street races. Are we saying goodbye to the classics? Or is this just a pit stop before something even more awesome? Well, let's talk about it. When the news dropped that Formula One is making a move to Madrid in 2026, a lot of us were like, not another street circuit, really? I mean, it is a pretty common reaction, and here's why. With Madrid stepping in, there's a good chance Barcelona, a classic on the F1 calendar, might vanish. Imagine losing one more traditional track. So, what's the deal with Madrid's new circuit? Well, it's supposed to have a banking character among other things, but it's got a bunch of street circuit vibes too. Just imagine narrow stretches and lots of start-stop action. And guess what? Many F1 fans are not thrilled about that style of racing. We've already seen Jeddah, Baku, and Las Vegas join the street circuit party lately. Plus, there are races happening in places like industrial estates or parks like Miami. Next season, there are 7 races lined up on street circuits alone, and it seems like this trend is only getting bigger in the years to come. For a big chunk of fans, it's starting to feel like the joy of watching races is slipping away. Now here's the scoop. Formula One's owner, Liberty Media, is all in on this street circuit trend, and it's not by accident. Those Americans are playing the long game, aiming to snag a whole bunch of new fans. How? Well, by bringing the races closer to where people live, right in the heart of big cities. Smart move, right? And get this, it's not just a fan thing, it is a green thing too. Racing in the city is actually better for the environment. Imagine that. Fans get top-notch public transport cruising on existing roads. It's like F1's way of saying, hey, we're doing our part for net zero 2030. But it's not just about fans and the planet, it's also a game changer for the teams. Sponsors can strut their stuff in the paddock way more easily, and let's talk hospitality. It is a whole new level in cities. So while some of us miss the roar of engines echoing through traditional circuits, there is a method to this city madness. Now let's zoom in on the fan reactions. They're like F1's mood barometer, and it's not exactly showing a sunny forecast. Angry fans are like big red flags for F1's big shots. Seems like the street circuit takeover isn't winning any popularity contests. Fans are saying, we want our drivers tackling the classics like Cops, El Rouge, not just parading down the strip in Vegas. And by the way, our favorite cars don't really shine on those narrow street tracks. But here's the twist. F1 isn't slamming the brakes on street circuits. Nope, they're on a search for the perfect balance. It's like they're trying to mix the best of both worlds, street and traditional tracks. No rivalry here, they want everyone, street and track fans alike, to join the F1 party. And F1 isn't kicking the classics to the curb. If those traditional tracks have the right setup and easy travel options, F1 wants to keep them in the game. So it's like they're trying to find that sweet spot between the flashy streets and the time-tested classics. Now let's take a closer look at Zandvoort in the Netherlands. It's practically the F1 role model for how to get things right. Just imagine this. Hordes of fans making their way to the race, not in fancy cars, but by hopping on public transport, or even cruising in on their bicycles. And get this, the track is just a quick half-hour journey from the bustling city of Amsterdam. Convenience level? Off the charts. But here is where it gets even cooler. It's not just about the journey. The entertainment scene in the North Holland Dunes is like a showstopper. And guess who's giving it a standing ovation? Liberty Media. They are loving the whole setup. Now let's connect the dots. Many traditional circuits, the ones nervously eyeing their spot on the F1 calendar, are taking notes and splashing some serious cash. Why? Well, to create that same stellar package of entertainment. It's like they're looking at Zandvoort's success story and saying, we want a piece of that action too. So it's not just about the race, it's about the whole fan experience. And Zandvoort is the benchmark they're aiming for. Another example of this is Spa, the Belgian Grand Prix. Historically, it was not the go-to place for off-the-track excitement, but in recent years, organizers decided it was time to shake things up. And boy, are they succeeding. The Belgians are cranking up the entertainment factor and fans are loving it. However, there is a minor hurdle. The infrastructure needs a bit of a facelift to match the newfound buzz. Now shift your focus to Monza, where they're putting in some serious work to give the F1 weekend a modern makeover. It's like a construction fiesta happening on and around the track to level up the infrastructure game. But that's not all. They're also making moves to make it a breeze for fans to hop on public transport and join the F1 party. It's not just about the race anymore, it's about the whole fan experience. From Belgium to Italy, traditional circuits are going all out to make sure that they stay in the F1 game. It's like a race within a race. Who can make the most significant upgrades and keep the fans cheering the loudest? In fact, F1 is more than willing to team up with these circuits, proving they're not about ditching the traditional tracks. The fact that they're rolling up their sleeves to work with places like Spa and Monza just shows that they've tuned in to what the fans want. It's like Liberty Media is waving a big flag shouting, "We hear you, fans!" And the best part? This collaboration is a win-win. But here's the real deal. Making all of these changes costs some serious money. Upgrading tracks is not cheap, and not every place has pockets as deep as Monaco. The worry is that some tracks might struggle to keep up, and that's not cool. We want every F1 spot to feel like a winner, not just the big shots. There's also the risk of losing what makes F1, well, F1. The heart-pounding moments at tracks like Monza or the tricky turns at Spa. That's the soul of the sport. While change is good, F1 needs to find that sweet spot between modern and classic. It's like updating your favorite app. You want cool new features, but you don't want to lose what made you love it in the first place. And then there's this city focus for street circuits. Sure, it's awesome for fans in big cities, but what about the folks who live out where there's no city race in sight? They might feel left out. F1 needs to make sure that everyone gets a piece of the action, no matter where they live. So, what do you think? Are you loving the idea of tracks getting a facelift and a modern vibe? Or are you holding on tight to the classic charm of old school circuits? Share your thoughts down in the comments below. Also, do not forget to hit like and subscribe for more awesome F1 stuff.